Okay, back with the McDonald's example. To remind you where we are, I'm trying to defend the statement: to place Western and non-Western modernities as equal would be to obscure the actual and continued domination of the non-West by the West. And you say, why? Why can't they be equal? And I say, because historically they are not. So historically, no, structurally, if we just look at McDonald's structurally. So we were at McDonald's in New Haven, Connecticut, and it indexed something very sort of low class. And then we were McDonald's in Italy, and it indexed pointed to youth, right? Youth and alcohol. And then we're McDonald's in Jordan, and it points to extreme wealth, the kind of families that can drop $200 on lunch for the kids. Um, all of these are completely localized and alternative versions of modernity, right? So in Jordan, McDonald's is elite, and in New Haven, Connecticut, McDonald's is non-elite. And you know, we can accept that McDonald's is different things in different places. And if you go to India, you don't get any burgers with beef; they're all mutton. And if you go to China, you get different menu items. And if you go to Russia, you get different menu items. You know, so McDonald's is localized. So there's no singular modernity of McDonald's out there, except when you go to pay the money, right? And so if you say, oh, McDonald's is just McDonald's anywhere in the world, no, it isn't, because there's all kinds of knockoff McDonald's around the world, and everyone knows the true McDonald's is the one that is American. And when you pay that money, yes, you know, a lot of the money stays local. A lot of the money when you go to McDonald's in China or in Egypt, yeah, you know, they have local suppliers. They have, you know, local paper companies that make the paper cups, and local sugar companies that provide the sugar for the soda, the Coca-Cola or whatever. And they have you know, local workers working behind the cash register, and they have everything's local. But a certain percentage of that money does end up at McDonald's HQ in Oak Park, Illinois, and a portion of that ends up in the pockets of investors who can come from everywhere. It's true. Those investors, you know, you could be a Saudi billionaire and have stock in McDonald's, and when McDonald's gets paid in Oak Park, you get a benefit, but it's on the New York Stock Exchange, and the majority of investors are probably Americans. The majority shareholders are probably the family of Ray Kroc, etc. So it is an American. It is not. It is unique wherever it occurs. That's true. It is not a symbol of American cultural imperialism as much as a symbol of American capital dominance. And that's more important to me. I would say, okay, from a cultural perspective, yeah, I'll give you alternative modernities. But once we start talking about real power, real military power, real money, then we got to look at Western modernity dominant, Western power dominant in our project of modernity. Okay, once we start talking about actual power, power relations, money and power, then we're back to guns and tanks and bombs, right? We're back to we're back to ghosts. So I'll give Stokes his cultural alternative modernities, but I'm never gonna say, oh, then everyone's equal, right? Because everyone isn't equal. Okay. So this comes in when we talk about anything we talk about in Middle Eastern history. This is the culmination of the entire class right here, and it has music, so it's fun. So official history: most people see Turkey as a simple attempt of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, who, between 1923 and 1938, he took the center of a dead empire and imposed a modern secular nation state on its ashes. Among other reforms, specifically, anti-Muslim laws were enacted. So this is what Ataturk did. He destroyed the practices of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was united over religion. He threw that out. He said, no, Islam is no longer our unification. It's now Turkish culture. Okay, that's different. So headscarves and fezzes were banned. Religious lodges and convents were closed down. The Arabic alphabet was replaced with the Roman alphabet. You look at all the names in here, and they're all written in this, very interesting typeface with little swirly things on the bottom of the C's. That is Turkish. Turkish is written in the Roman alphabet. You can read it. You can sound it out the same way you can sound out Italian or Polish or Spanish or any of these other languages written with the Roman alphabet. And that was Ataturk. He did that. He said the Arabic alphabet is backward and doesn't match our needs. And it's true. The Turkish language is not well suited to writing with the Semitic alphabet. Semitic languages are really well. Just the way they work works really well with Arabic and Hebrew scripts. In any case, sorry. The Arabic alphabet was replaced with the Roman alphabet. The Islamic Caliphate was abolished. Just abolished it. Boom. No more Islamic Caliphate. Can you imagine the Italian president saying, okay, Pope, you're no longer Pope. Get out of here, right? It's huge. It's a huge attack. Friday became, it was sort of not really a completely legitimate caliphate to begin with, but still, these are huge impositions on religion by the state. Friday became an ordinary working day, and for a time, the call to prayer was done in Turkish and not in Arabic, and that is huge. Goodness, not to be able to give the call to prayer in Arabic? Wow. Okay, so it was a big deal, the secularization, which was sort of like French secularization too. Laïcité, they call it in France, and it's still illegal in France to wear a headscarf in certain places, just as it is illegal in Turkey to wear a headscarf and be a student or work as a government employee, etc. There are laws against it in ways that would never be possible in the United States. We just cannot imagine someone saying, okay, you can't wear a cross and come to public school. You can't wear a cross around your neck. Which, all right, can't identify yourself religiously and work as a county clerk or public school teacher or something like that. Ridiculous, right? Complete imposition on freedom of religion. But anyway, that's what they did. After Ataturk's death, the government and the military continued this project. There was a democratic experiment, which was, of course, religious, right? People vote. They're going to vote against it because they love their religion and they hate these impositions. So they voted. They voted for a religious leader in 1950, and the army intervened. After 10 years, the army intervened and said, look, you are not doing this right. And so they had a coup d'etat in 1960 and executed the president in 1961. This is what happens to you if you mess with our secularization. After a return to liberal and Islamist democracy in the 1960s, of course, liberal meaning the free exercise of religion, the free exercise of money and capitalism, and the free exercise of democracy, voting. These are all on the same side, as was, obvious, right? This is the Cold War. We've got sorry, I got to look look here. So during the Cold War, you've got sorry, I'll just do it. You've got on the West. You've got Western Europe. They're in favor of capitalism. They're ruled by monarchies. It's old-fashioned. It's the same as Napoleon, right? Napoleon abolishes hereditary title and imposes a republic, and the British are there saying, no, we love hereditary titles, we love the king, the absolute authority of the monarch, etc. And so in the after 1945, it's the same thing, right? We are in favor of religion, we are in favor of capitalism, and we are in favor of old-fashioned private property and the inherited rights of the kings. And on the left, in the Eastern Bloc, you've got the Soviet Union taking the place of France or Germany, 100 years before, saying, no, we got to get rid of capitalism, we've got to get rid of religion, we've got to get rid of inherited title, we've got to get republics that are ruled by the masses is represented by the party, and this is modernity. And we've got to liberate women, and we've got to stand up for the worker, and we've got to crush these old-fashioned, religion and capitalism, and stand up for science, and stand up for secularism, and all that. And the right over here in Western Europe is like, no, no, no. Science is not the answer. It's religion, right? It's God and the prophets, right? And these people won, right? So old-fashioned conservative ideologies like religion and capitalism won over newfangled modernity of science and secularism, uh, and thus we find ourselves in the situation we are today, as you well know. Um, in any case, so it shouldn't make any confusion to us that democracy, capitalism, and Islamic politics are all the same, right? Uh, uh, who rules? Who rules Germany today? What is the party in power in Germany? The German Democratic Union. The Christian Democratic Union, the CDU, Christian religious party of Angela Merkel.